Well, here we are doing another one of those Candid videos. I know you guys saw the video about what it was like for me to graduate during quarantine a couple of weeks ago, and I honestly just wanted to make this video because I had planned to do something about it in more of a storytelling sense, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized I needed to just do it in a candid manner. I feel like it's only right for me to make this type of video considering I just switched my entire wardrobe to kind of mirror this person. It's in the title. I don't know why I'm acting like you're not going to know who I'm talking about. But basically, Matt D'Avella has been more than just, my favorite YouTuber, and I wanted to make a video kind of explaining what happened to me that made me enjoy his content so much. What is the reason that I'm just so absolutely all the time enthralled with Matt D'Avella and the videos he makes, and why I always attribute what I do on YouTube to him? The reason for this is pretty obvious from the title, but this guy got me out of probably the biggest rough patch I've experienced in life. And it's crazy how things can change so absolutely quickly. As I've mentioned before, and I mentioned in the last Candid conversation, it'd be interesting to see if this becomes a series. Every month or so, I just do a candid sort of sit-down conversation about a topic rather than make a storytelling type video. Who knows? This could be something going forward that you guys like. But really, it all started second semester of my freshman year. I was not happy. I'll be honest, college went pretty okay the first half of freshman year, but then over winter break, I refound a game that I played as a child called World of Warcraft, and in the beginning, it was fun. I was playing it a fair amount over winter break, and I told myself, when I go back to school, it won't be a big deal, I'll barely play it, and then I started playing it more and more and more when I got back. And there's a bit of a correlation between me not playing it and what was happening outside of, my room and where I'd play it. I was having some situations where my living situation wasn't great. I didn't have a good relationship with my roommate, and a lot of the people that I had known at the beginning of the year, they weren't reaching out to me as much to get together, and it was probably on me, to be honest. I mean, I want to put it on myself. I really started isolating myself, and I had some doubts, right? I essentially had a situation in high school where I'd known someone for a long time, and they had been so close to me for a while, right? They were close to me, they were my friend, and then essentially, all of a sudden, what happened was they turned around and acted like I wasn't the whole time, and said things like I was the reason they were doing so poorly in their sport, and it kind of really messed with my head for a little while. I had some pretty big trust issues regarding people going into college for that reason. I think even and at a younger age, before high school, I struggled a lot with trusting friendships because so many had come and gone, and I probably psychoanalyzed it a little too much for someone who was just in high school. I think at this point, I understand that people come and go out of your life, but when I had that weird situation happen with that person in high school that I was so close to, it really messed with my head. So little things would happen with what people would say, and I'd just get so scared that I was just getting roped into a similar type of friendship, and I would just kind of close myself off from other people. And because of that and things that happened second semester freshman year, that kind of made me rethink the same things. I had a relatively similar situation with somebody freshman year who I thought I was close to, and then it didn't work out, but it was worse than it didn't work out. We ended up getting into a very toxic relationship. Friend-wise, it wasn't the person I was dating my freshman year, but no, that was not the toxic relationship I'm talking about. I ended up becoming so absolutely fixated on the fact that it was my fault, and on top of that, somehow it was my fault, but at the same time, people weren't trustworthy. It was weird. Like, it was just like a double-edged sort of negativity going through my head. And I thought to myself, well, if that's the case, then you might as well just keep playing Warcraft. The people online seem to be nice to you. And if you keep doing that, it won't be a problem, you know? You don't need, you can deal with just online friends. That's fine. That's all you really need. And I convinced myself of this for a long time. I'll be honest. I even had quit the game that fall of my sophomore year. Sorry. So like about 7-8 months after I started, I quit for about 2 months. And then I say I relapsed, which is kind of sad, but I did relapse. And it was one of those things where, you know, the people online were constantly reaching out to me, asking me how I was doing. And I felt like even though I'd quit, you know, I had started trying to be around the people who I developed some relationships before my freshman year, during my freshman year. And then, you know, trying to rekindle those sort of my sophomore year. And it was going okay. Maybe it wasn't going at the pace I wanted it to, because I did kind of isolate myself pretty hardcore. So me coming back into the picture and even explaining it to them, I don't know, like, it's hard. I was 20. Like, I couldn't expect a bunch of 20-year-olds to get it. 19-year-olds, some of them too. Like, the maturity level that you gain through 4 years of college and even 4 years of any part of your life before you hit like 30, it's a big jump. So in retrospect, honestly, me expecting it to be normal right away was kind of dumb. And then, you know, I relapsed into playing the game again. And this cycle continued until I stumbled across Matt D'Avella's videos. And for those of you who don't know, he is a filmmaker. He is a guy who makes really good YouTube videos. I mean, every single week it's like a short 10-minute film that's just such high quality, and I strive to do similar types of content regarding my formal videos, and the vlogs are a little different, and he made podcasts before as well. So it's inspired by him. I don't want to copy him at all. I do take different inspirations from him, but he and I are obviously different people, and we have different aspirations on YouTube and off of YouTube. So it's not that I'm literally trying to copy him. It's just a matter of, I just want to say like how I was inspired by him. And when I say it's like the video that saved my life, I mean, honestly, there was a point where I was just so upset and so like fixated on the game I was playing and nothing really else. And I managed to get through it, but it was hard. And it's crazy how everything changes in one moment. I went to YouTube as I usually did to watch whatever it was. You know, like I was following content that really didn't matter. A lot of it was sports content. I did have a weird brief period where I watched a lot of sports content, and there was a Discord that I was in that was with a bunch of other sports fans, and that was fun. You know, it was cool and everything. But honestly, like, it wasn't the same as being with people in person. There are great things about online friends, and I guess a good way to put it is that they just can't. I mean, they can't hug you when you're in kind of a sad spot. That's a good representation of like why it's not 100% the same thing. They can care about you and you can care about them. I'm not saying that it's not a real friendship. It's just a matter of, it's kind of hard. You know, you can't physically be there for somebody and they can't physically be there for you. So I stumbled across, after watching a bunch of random sports videos for the day, I stumbled across A Day in the Life of a Minimalist suggested. Matt D'Avella. I'm like, who is this guy? All right, let me go check this out. Goes, clicks. I guess it was on my phone though, so whatever. Presses the button. And I was just hooked in by the second the video started. It was like the whole spiel about, you know, I got rid of this. I got rid of everything that doesn't give me value. And I was like, oh my God, this is so extra. And I actually stopped watching the video 40-something seconds in, like right before the beginning joke ended. And then I go back because it gets suggested to me again, like 7 days later. And I'm like, all right, I'll finish the dang video, YouTube, if that's what you want. And I finish the video and I go, oh my God, this is cool. This guy is, I mean, that was such good videography. That was such good commentary on the topic. This guy is a minimalist. I didn't even know what a minimalism was at the time. And I'm like going through the rabbit hole of his videos after this. And I'm like, he only wears the same shirt? Why would he do that? Oh my God, I don't care about what I wear. Oh my God, I'm colorblind. That's a cool idea. And I've been wanting to do that since I just did that. I mean, I don't have the exact same shirt. I'm not sure whether this is going to come out when my video about it comes out, so I'm not going to give too much, but it's similar. You know, what I have is very similar to him with some changes, obviously, because inspiration, not copycatting. And I just went through all of his videos, all of his old podcasts, not all of them. That's mild hyperbole, but most of them. And I was just enthralled with the topic of self-development, with the topic of making your life better. And he was doing it from this place of, he had all this debt before, he was in his parents' basement, and then he got himself out of it, and this is just his experience, and this can be you. And I was always very interested in freelance work. I had done some video editing on the side like 2-3 months before I found him, and then all of a sudden, like, things just started changing for me. You know, I quit Warcraft because I was just done with it. I was very frustrated. I don't know if this is a humble brag, I'm not sure. I mean, I was like very good at the game, and the group of people I was playing with, a lot of them were good, but there was like a couple people who would hold us back in group things called raids, and it would get me so frustrated. And I ended up being I was the guild leader for like 2 years. Like, I was a guild leader always. I was always in charge, and I was always having these really high expectations for myself and then other people, but people wouldn't play as much as me, so maybe they wouldn't be in the same spot skill-wise, and I wasn't able to switch the characters I wanted to play because the role I played was so important that I was only doing that one thing for like 2 years, and it just burnt me out. And I was really upset all the time when I'd play. Like, it'd go through very small periods of elation when we'd do well, and then like 90% of it was just me being annoyed. When I was hanging out with people though, and we weren't doing the raids or whatever, I was loving it. I mean, there was great banter between friends after, you know, all those hours logged online together, you become friends, and that was great. But after I watched enough Matt Diavella videos, I was like, man, the real world needs to come back to me. I need to get back to where I was. And I remember the first cognizant step I made towards building a better life was quitting Warcraft. And honestly, I don't know whether I would have done it if I didn't find the video. And that's why this is called how, you know, this video has to do with Matt Diavella, the video that saved my life, because I honestly think I would still be playing the game. I still would be pretty socially distant from people. And that's not a life I want to live. So it saved my life in that sense. And he's the reason I started YouTube. There's just something about the honesty of what he was saying in all of his videos, about him telling his side of the story, and it wasn't coming from a place of authority, it was coming from a place of experience. And that is so much better storytelling wise, and that's a reason why my videos have recently changed from telling to storytelling, and why I am so absolutely inspired by what he did, and why all my videos have maybe a similar vibe, and why some people for some reason are saying things like, oh my God, you are making content like Matt Diavella, and I'm like, what? No, I'm not. Like, no, I'm not. That's not. I'm only saying that because I just have him on this such of a high pedestal in my brain that I think to myself, no, I'm not making the same type of content. I mean, it is similar. It is the same self-improvement niche, but when I hear that, I think to myself, like, no, the quality is not there. But maybe what I'm doing is exactly what I wanted to. So like I said, the reason I started YouTube was because of him. And this one thought has been in my mind since the beginning of making this channel, and it was this. If you impact one person in the same way that he impacted you, you did your job. And that's why I think I make videos every single time. It's thinking back to the time of when I wanted to change. And I think a big thing about wanting to have self-improvement in all these videos I make is you need to want to change in order for that to be a thing, in order for you to make that huge shift that I did. Like, I wanted to change. I just wasn't happy in the spot I was. I just didn't know what to do. Now, some people would have been totally content in that situation. And for those people, it's not going to happen. They're not going to change. And what I'm trying to say is, me making those videos is my showcasing of appreciation for what he did for me, and my attempt to do the same thing for somebody else. So if you are one of those people who has been impacted by my videos and even an inkling of the same way, I am so beyond grateful that that's the case, because that's why I started making videos in the first place. It only a couple months in was something that I then realized, like, okay, maybe I could become someone who's monetized and all those sort of things. And I had a plan regarding building an audience because I wanted to impact people more than anything. I didn't want to make money off it. I wanted to impact a group of people in the same way that he did, because I was like, man, I went from just not being happy, I was always stressed about just randomest things, to finding self-improvement, finding the concept of minimalism and essentialism, and then taking that and understanding that I'm an educated person. I was going to have a degree. I should be happy. I had a really supportive family. I don't know why I'm so upset. And it was honestly just put on myself from insecurities I had from when I was in high school. And I was like, you got to shift that mindset, man. And Matt, I just want to say, if you're watching this video for some reason, thank you. Because I honestly don't think I'd be, happy or as happy as I am now. And I wouldn't be making videos, because you're the reason I got started. And hopefully other people have been affected by me and impacted by me in a positive way, which means by virtue of you impacted even more people than just the people you make videos for, because you have this sort of aura and inspiration to you that I just can't really put into words. I know it's been kind of a ramble, but for those of you watching, if you could, I really want to ask you do this, and I don't really ask this much, but can you, on the next video he makes, comment saying that someone made a video about him, like a thank you video, and when I post this on my socials, could you repost this on your socials and try to tag him? Because if Matt sees this video, I personally would be so happy. I'm going to tag him. I'm going to DM him. I'm going to do my best to know that he at least had the chance of seeing this video, because he impacts people maybe more than he even thinks. And hopefully I can help him understand that he is more than just a creator for some people. He is somebody who got others out of a really tricky spot. And I think he knows that he's helping people, and that's why he makes videos as well. I think as time's gone on, he tries to just tell the story of his life and ways that he's found to increase his productivity and do all these different positive things for his life, because he did go from, 100K in debt and then not be in any debt in a couple of years, and that's not something people do often, and that's an inspiration point for a lot of people. And on top of that, he is working for himself now, and that's an inspiration point for a lot of people, and he's doing really great things in all of the videos that he makes. So you and Nat, you guys are goals as well. I always like when you have Nat in your videos, and it's really fun to see how you guys interact and how happy you are and how she's so on board with what you're doing. So I'm glad you're there. With that regard, if you're watching this, I'm sorry you got your wedding canceled. I am half Greek and half Italian, so I remember early on in the process of my family kind of stressing out in Rome about what was happening, that I was like, oh man, Matt's wedding's gonna get canceled. And I kind of knew that, and it was sad. And then when it finally happened, I was like, dang, that sucks. All that wedding planning, man, wasn't needed as quickly as you thought. So that's unfortunate. With that being said, though, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I know this was really candid and really just a conversation with me and the microphone. I don't usually do this. That's why this is here, so that the quality can be a little bit better, even if it cuts off part of the shirt. Honestly, I like V-necks more than crew necks, by the way. Big V-neck guy. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it shows the cross more. I'm not sure. I really appreciate you guys for watching this video. And with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.